Do you ever find yourself trying to force the outcome, forcing to make things happen, and that just makes it more difficult and less successful? This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today I'm going to talk to you about trying to force the outcome and why that doesn't work all the time. It's sometimes life in your career, family, or relationships can feel like the harder you try, the worse it gets. It's almost like a catch-22. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you work harder and you put in more time, and then things just don't work out. And you find yourself becoming more aggressive, more driven, more fired up, getting tighter and feeling more tense. And then it just doesn't work. And here's why. I experience a lot of this. I grew up skateboarding, and whenever I try to learn a trick, it was like I would try to force the outcome. I'd try to force myself to do it. And then when I would do it, I realized I wasn't forcing. I was just doing what I needed to do and nothing more. And such is life. Even getting a doctorate degree, even opening a practice, even building another person's practice, just doing what I needed to do, nothing more, nothing less, is what made things work for me. He put me in charge, Dr. Hans, this guy used to work for a chiropractor, he put me in charge of his marketing, and I'd go to these spinal screening booths. You know what I'm talking about? You go to these farmers markets and you get that person coming up and saying, hey, would you like to get your posture check? And everybody just avoids them. Nobody wants to hear what's wrong with them. And I was that person. So I'd go up, and the more I tried, the more it didn't work. And then I just sat back and let them come to me because they knew why I'm there. It's not like, you see this health booth, the chiropractor or whatever, and you know what it's about. You don't have to force it. But what I did find was if I just go and talk to people, rather than, hey, let's get your spine checked. No, thanks. Say, how do you like the fare? Have you tried the tiramisu next door? It's wonderful. And by the way, we're doing a spine check if you're interested. And if not, check out the Filipino barbecue. Those chicken barbecue sticks are fantastic. I just made it more casual, more friendly, rather than, I got to do this. I got to make Dr. Hans proud. I got to succeed. And the more effort, the more I tried, it just didn't seem to work. So once I relaxed into it, same thing with the skateboarding tricks, even snowboarding tricks when I snowboarded, everything that I can think back that I had to learn, when I relaxed into it and just almost allowing it to happen. And that's a weird statement to say, because how are you not allowing something to happen if you're trying and trying and trying? They say if you fall off the horse, get back on. If you fail, try again. But it's the quality of work. It's not the amount of effort. It's the quality of effort. In other words, it's almost more of a finesse. You ever play pool, and sometimes you hit the ball too hard and the ball goes flying. And that's what it is right there. The harder you try, the worse you're making it. It's almost like putting in an enormous amount of force just to move 10 pounds of weight. You wind up throwing the weight off and you make things worse. And that's what I mean, because you got to be a force that increases probability. You got to set yourself up to win. You can't force to win. In other words, controlling, judging, driving, and trying to force the outcome is often a state of thought most people think that brings success. And, you cannot control the environment. You can't control people. You can't control people's responses. You can only control yourself and the actions you take and the actions that produce results. You can create the condition for what you want. It's just like if you plant a seed, you're not going to make it grow more by watering it more. You only give it the water it needs, and you make sure the soil has the right mineral consistency. You put too much manure in there, it has too much nitrogen. The seed's not going to grow in there. You got too much sand, or You got to make sure the soil has the right consistency for that seed to grow. And once that soil has the right consistency, just the right amount of water, not too much, not too little, and the seed just blossoms. Same with the plant, even after it sprouts. Too much fertilizer and it just dries it out. The plant turns yellow and dies out and turns brown. And you're wondering, what did I do? I thought I gave it water, I gave it fertilizer. It likes a lot of sunshine. I put it in the sun. How come it didn't work? Sometimes too much effort sabotages yourself because you get tense. You're becoming so controlling that you're actually not letting it happen. You can't force a plant to grow. You can only create the condition. Here's what I mean. So, number one, there's going to be 3 steps to cultivating the right condition for success. Number one is you got to work on your own character, your integrity, being trustworthy and reliable. A team player. They say if you want to give orders, you got to learn how to take orders. A lot of people start as a worker bee in a crew before they become supervisor and manager. Nobody, you see that person who graduates college with a degree in management, they get hired as a supervisor, and everyone on the team looks at them like, what do they know? Who the heck are they? I've been working here longer. I've been wanting that position. In other words, you set yourself up for it by creating the skills too. Number 2, you create the skills. Now, however you create the skills, whether it's school, but most people trust experience over book knowledge. You learn communication skills. You learn skills that work in the industry or the field that you want to succeed in and work on them. Take courses. Go volunteer. You've got to work on your skills. And that, back to the character, you got to develop confidence. You got to be confident in who you are, come across as confident, because if you're not confident, people are not going to trust you. And that ties into skill development. The more skilled you are, the more confident you'll be in the industry that you work in. If you're a plumber, you got to know your pipes, you got to know your fittings, you got to know your soldering, you got to know your stuff. In any field, you've got to know your stuff. You got to know your materials. You've got to understand the nature of those materials, of how they work together, and understand the tools that you need to use and master those tools. And the more skilled you are, the more confident you are. So when you go to apply in a certain job, whatever industry it is, you come across as this guy knows what he's doing. So your character is confident because your skill development is there. And that's number 2, cultivate your skills. Number 3 is networking. Work on your community. Say the 5 people that you surround yourself with is who you're going to be. And studies have shown this. If you're hanging out with people who have no ambition, people who don't care about their life, they don't mind working some job for a paycheck, working at McDonald's or whatever. Nothing wrong with that, but you want to own a McDonald's. If you're ambitious and you're driven and you want to succeed and you just want to experience that kind of life, you're not going to get there hanging out with people that are partying all the time, that are lazy, don't hold themselves accountable, blame everybody around them, complain all the time. You want to hang out with people that are success driven, that, in other words, have a growth mindset. They're always willing to learn, always willing to explore. And they're accountable. They hold themselves accountable. They don't point fingers and blame. And they're willing to work. They're disciplined. They have an ethic about them. They're trustworthy and reliable. They're honest. And they're skilled. They are great communicators, or they have connections with people who are, you always say, hey, I know a great cook, or I know a great chiropractor, or I know a great psychologist, or I know a great computer programmer. Or my friend does the hardware over at Apple. He's great. He helps me with my computer. He's really good. So you develop connections so you get referrals. And that's networking. The more people you know, the more likely you're going to get into the door, get your foot in the door in the industry that you want to get into. And that's the key. That's how you cultivate the soil, so to speak. That's how you churn the soil, create the right garden, create the right conditions to succeed in. They say it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And even more, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. So get your name and face out there. Be confident, be trustworthy, be reliable, be skillful. And those connections will deepen. People will know you as the go-to guy or gal for whatever field of study or field of work that you're in. Even within a company, maybe you're already hired and you want to move up. Be that go-to person. Brand yourself so everybody knows you as that go-to person who knows how to sell, who knows how to close a deal, who knows how to create networks, who knows how to fix this computer problem, who knows how to manage people, who knows how to create motivation in people. Whatever it is that you're good at, be good at. Find one thing that you like doing and get really good at it. Practice, practice, practice. And that skill that you get from being good at it will reflect in your character. Because there's a certain kind of confidence, there's a certain clarity, there's a certain kind of knowing that comes with being really good at something. There's a certain calmness that comes with it. There's a certain grace that comes with it. Nobody likes to work with a hothead. Nobody likes to work with someone who's two-faced. Nobody likes to work with a liar. So when you're working on your character, it's also tied in with the skills that you have, which is tied in with your confidence, which will then make it easier to network. And then when you go and network, people will know you as that go-to plumber or go-to life insurance person or go-to realtor, or whatever field you're in, get really good at it. And you don't have to brag about it. It will show in your demeanor. So when you talk about it, you're going to sound like you know what you're talking about because you imbue it. It just oozes out of your skin. And that's how you sow the seeds of success. You got to look at it like a garden. The seeds aren't going to just grow anywhere. Seeds are not going to grow in sandy soil. They're not going to grow on rocks. They're going to grow in fertile soil. They're not going to grow if you over-fertilize it. The right amount of sunshine, the right amount of water, the right amount of fertilizer will blossom that plant, and such is life. The right character, the right skills, and the right community will foster your success. And that's what I do because you want to experience abundance, freedom, and fulfillment. You weren't born to be poor. You weren't born to be a failure. You weren't born to experience dissatisfaction. And the world is changing constantly. And if you don't adapt to the changing world, you're going to get left behind, so to speak. You have to evolve and grow with the changing environment. It may mean changing industries. It may mean changing your group of friends. It may mean learning new skills. You have to adapt to succeed in this world. And that's how you do it. That's how you set yourself up for success. And this is just the surface of it. If you want to learn more, contact me. My information will be below because that's what I do. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a transformational life coach. I help you succeed and grow so you can live the life you truly want to live. Go ahead and contact me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.